Hey guys, so for those new to the channel, or for those who just want to hear the story again, I have a court case that I have to do an appeal on. It's kind of like an appeal slash brand new case, but it's kind of like two court cases in one. But I'm not sure how they would file it with the court case, or what the technical term of the court case would be. But it is a stalker case slash assault and battery with a deadly weapon case that was filed against me, that was not supposed to be filed against me because they agreed to drop the charges if I moved out of the apartment. So I'm just going to tell the story and tell you what I'm currently facing, and the fact that I'm suing for $100,000 for emotional distress and perjury. Um, so long story short, when in 2019, it's been a few years, so I know, like, when you have a charge against you that is not a valid charge, there's probably not like a statutory limit on how long you have to get it removed from your record, but I'm not sure what the timeline on it is. So that's kind of like someone goes to prison for a charge they never committed. There's no statutory limit on proving your innocence. So that's what I'm facing. Like, I got a charge against me that I'm innocent of, that wasn't supposed to be taken to court against me. So I don't think there's a time limit on how long I have to prove my innocence or get it taken out of court or off my record, is what it is. So I think I'm in the clear with that. But in 2019, like right when COVID had broken out, I was living at this apartment complex in my hometown in Suffolk. And I got stalked by three people who worked at this apartment complex. It was this maintenance man named Tim. He was older. He was like 50 something, 60 something. I think in his 50s. But it was this older, slightly older, like middle-aged white guy. He was a short, kind of stocky, older white guy that played guitar in his church band. And that's only relevant because, like, we bonded over music a whole lot. Like, every time he would come do maintenance work in the apartment, like, we were talking about music and shooting the breeze about guitar and what type of guitars we've had and, like, which one was better and how they played. And, like, we really shot the breeze about a lot of music stuff. And so I was really nice to him. I would offer him, like, my fan if my AC had broken, and cold water, and, like, anything to make him comfortable. And we really got along quite well, I felt like. But I didn't know he was a stalker. So that's Tim. There was a woman manager there named Amanda, who was like 30, 40, probably like 40 something, who was like white, red face, like she was always fucking red in the face, and a little overweight. And Amanda was the main manager there, of the apartment complex. And like, her father had died that summer, so my husband had died the previous spring. And it had not been quite a year that my husband had died. Like, it had been March that he died, and I moved in the apartment in December. So it hadn't been quite a year, so I was still really upset about that. I was really suicidal. I was grieving. I was upset, and it was a brand new apartment, so I was trying to, like, make myself happy about being in a new environment, but I was really, really down in spirits. So when a year had passed and Amanda's father died the following summer, I got her a card and some roses. It was like, my husband just died. I know how you're feeling. Let me know if you ever need anything. Hit me up. Basically like that. So me and Amanda kind of semi-bonded, but she still turned on me like a vicious dog, and like basically didn't take into any consideration how kind I had been to her, and didn't give a fuck at all. So that's Amanda. And then there was Madeline, the third stalker person, who was a secondary manager there, who was like, I don't know, 22, 23, thin white girl, dark hair. She was like Hispanic or some shit. And she was barely in the picture, but she played a huge role in trying to get me evicted, and trying to act like an innocent party in all the eviction attempts and the stalking and shit. But she was just as present in pressing criminal charges against me and going. She was like trying to play innocent in all the illegal activity that went against me, but she was doing everything every step of the way with Amanda and Tim like a fully guilty party, but trying to play coy like she didn't really was hands off, but she was doing everything wrong every step of the way too. So that was Madeline. So basically I moved to this apartment, and like within the first 6 months they started stalking me. So long story short, Tim, the maintenance man, put this camera in my apartment, and nobody believed me because I was schizoaffective. I was off my medication. And I only got off my medication because this is relevant to how I ended up getting my NGRI charge when I was off my medication. That following year, what was I going to say? I don't know, but like the year previous when I was at the apartment complex, when COVID broke out, the phone line that the doctor's offices had and like all the businesses had, some of those phone messages were really garbled up and chewed up and like really low volume or like really staticky or just really bad quality when it was recorded. And so that's unfortunately the way it was at my doctor's office. And so it had been a year since I saw my psychiatrist face to face. And the way my doctor's office did it, after a year of not seeing your doctor face to face, they wanted you to go see them face to face to renew your medication, your prescription for your medication. So COVID had broken out and you couldn't see your doctor face to face. So they recorded a phone message telling you how to get a telehealth appointment to see the doctor face to face over the phone. Excuse me. But it was so chewed up, I didn't know what the website was they were telling me to go to, so I couldn't get a hold of my doctor, and I ran out of my medication. So I became schizoaffective while we were locked in the house during COVID-19. So I was really stressed out, and they started stalking me during COVID-19. So I was really under a lot of duress during that whole like year that they were harassing me, and I couldn't really think straight. If I had not been schizoaffective, all of them would be in prison right now. But like I couldn't think straight about like legal terms and how to go about legally getting them arrested for what they were doing. So I spent the whole year collecting evidence against them and I had a shit ton. I had like documentation, I had pictures, I had like phone call records, I had police reports, I had fire department reports, I had like everything I needed, which made a really good case for where I am now. But at the time, I didn't know what to do with all of it. So I spent the whole year collecting all this evidence against them, but I didn't know like how to get it into court, how to get it to the police station, how to get them arrested. Like I just couldn't think straight. So it just didn't work out at the time to my advantage. But Timothy, the man at Timothy, whatever it is, he put a smoke detector camera in my apartment. And no matter who I told, like in the family or doctors or like nobody I told believed me because I was schizoaffective. And that's really frustrating. Like you shouldn't just blow people off because they have mental illness, because it would have been really helpful if anyone believed me. And the only two people who believed me were the police department and the fire department, because they saw the actual evidence of it. And they didn't know I was schizoaffective. So that worked out in my favor. But nobody else believed me. But I knew it. Because like when I moved into the apartment, there was a smoke detector on the wall. That might have been a camera and I didn't know it. So for the first like 6 months, I may have been recorded in the apartment and didn't know it. But I know after 6 months, my toilet broke, so I put in a work request to Timothy to come fix the toilet. And I was like, you can come in the house, I'm going to be gone. But come on in, do the work, whatever, it's good. Just leave the little tag that you've been in the apartment so I know the work has been done, and that'll be cool. But as soon as I returned home, he had already been in the house, fixed the toilet, and left a little work request tag on the refrigerator or counter, wherever he left it, telling me he had been in the house and done the work and what work he had done. The first thing I noticed as soon as I walked in the door, and this is even off my medication and dealing with audible hallucinations and the stress they were putting me under and all the eviction notices for no reason and all this shit, was the smoke detector. It looked fake. Like, if you and it looked brand new. Like, it didn't look like the same one. You know, you get dust and shit on your smoke detector and it just looks well used. It just looks like part of the wall, like, you know, it's been there for a while. But this thing was brand new. It was sparkling white. It looked reflective. It looked plastic. It looked fake. And the first thing that went through my mind is, holy shit, that looks like a camera. That was just the first thing that went to mind. It wasn't a schizophrenic thought like, oh, he's recording me in here and he's talking to me through the walls and shit. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just the most clear-headed thought I had. That shit looks fake like a camera. And there would have been a whole bunch of news on Airbnb, on the news, about all the Airbnb people recording people in their houses. And I had looked at several videos on YouTube, not a lot of them, but like a few, 2, 3, of like how to tell when there's a camera in the house and what the cameras look like and all the shit. So I knew what I was looking at and that it looked like a camera. And I was like, that looks like a camera. So I took it down and inspected it. And I found out that the battery on the inside of it had the little plastic strip. Like, if you ever get toys or little candles, that the flameless candles that flicker like real candles, but they're just plastic candles. And you know how the batteries have the little plastic strip to keep the batteries from running down while it's in packaging? The smoke detector had the same thing. So the battery wasn't connected to the connectors so that it wouldn't run the battery down. And I was like, it just struck me weird. I'm like, why would he put a smoke detector? Like, most smoke detectors don't come like that. For one thing, they don't come with batteries. So he would have had to put the smoke detector up there with the battery in it. And it just struck me as wrong that this thing is brand new. The battery is not connected. So, like, it just, something about it just struck me as like, this thing is a camera. It comes with the battery already with the plastic. I usually have to take the plastic out so that you can use it as is, like it's some sort of toy. So, like, that's just what went through my mind. This is some sort of camera. They don't want the battery running down. This is meant to have batteries replaced in it. And it's not a normal smoke detector. So I put it in the drawer. And they served me with an eviction notice for living in the apartment without a smoke detector, which was ridiculous. So I put it back on the wall. And then I Googled it because the battery had the brand name Kitty on it, Kiddie, which made me feel weird as fuck anyway. But, like, that's just what the brand name on it was. So I Googled it, and it came up with this same exact smoke detector. It looked exactly the same, but it had a red cord attached to it. And the one that was on my wall didn't have a red cord attached to it. So I didn't know if it was a camera or not. So I covered up the part on it that I thought was a camera, and I just left it up there for like a week or two, and was just careful not to like walk through the apartment naked or do anything weird in the living room, because that's where it was, like right next to the kitchen facing the living room. And the apartment was set up in such a way that the living room and the kitchen was just this open floor plan, and you could see the front door, the whole living room, like the TV, the kitchen, the laundry room. You could see all that shit from where the smoke detector was. But the bathroom was directly behind the smoke detector, and the bedroom was right next to the bathroom, so it was like right under the smoke detector, but you couldn't see. Like, if you walked naked out of the bathroom, you would just go straight to the bedroom, but the camera, we couldn't pick that up. So I was kind of in the clear for that, but I couldn't walk like from my bathroom to the kitchen naked to get like a glass of water or some shit. I had to be dressed. So I was just tiptoeing around my apartment in the event that it was the same thing. So one day, I just decided, after months and months of harassment and shit just magically breaking in my apartment, like, I would go out and come back and shit wouldn't be working. Like, my garbage disposal in the kitchen sink, like, it was working right before I left home. I had done dishes and put some shit, like some food, in the garbage disposal. And when I came home, there was a nail inside of it, and it was jammed. And I was like, how did a nail get in here? And it just rung off some bells in my head. So I checked the smoke detector again, and the red cord was attached to it this time. And I was like, okay, this is the same camera. So I covered it up with the cardboard piece of paper, because, mind you, I'm schizoaffective. I'm like, that's more than enough proof. You saw it on Google. You got a camera on your wall. But I'm like, under duress, I can't think straight. So instead of calling the police and being like, look at what I found on Google, look at what's on my wall, I hadn't been arrested, I was like, I need to collect evidence. So, like, that's what was going through my head, because I couldn't think straight. So I'm freaking just collecting all this evidence month after month after month. And that's basically how I wound up getting stalked there. So, fast forward a little bit. I'm so stressed out at this point. I'm getting cyberbullied. My husband just died. I'm getting cyberbullied by my husband's best friend. I made a video about that on the other video talking about Kyle's of Reddit. That was my husband's best friend, and I got bullied by like 16,000